Changing your motorcycle's oil is crucial maintenance, but what you do right after the oil change can make or break your engine. Engine oil is often called the lifeblood of the engine. Even a small post-service mistake can lead to rapid failure of moving parts. In this video, we'll expose 9 deadly post-oil change mistakes that can kill any motorcycle engine fast. Let's dive into each serious mistake and the mechanical reasons why even one slip-up could spell disaster for your engine. Mistake 1. Ignoring the oil level. After an oil change, never start your engine without double-checking the oil level. If you neglect to verify that you added the correct amount of oil, you risk running the engine with insufficient oil, which means critical components won't get enough lubrication. Crucial surfaces like crankshaft bearings and cam lobes depend on a pressurized oil film. Without enough oil, that protective film breaks down, and these parts can scuff and overheat almost immediately. Oil starvation can cause metal parts to grind and seize from friction, leading to rapid wear or even an engine seizure. In fact, engines have seized within miles when refilled improperly. One report noted a motor seizing only 4 miles after a mechanic forgot to add oil. Always use the dipstick or sight glass to ensure the oil sits between the minimum and maximum marks before you start the bike. Mistake 2. Overfilling the oil. Putting in too much oil is just as dangerous as running with too little. An overfilled oil level can cause the crankshaft to whip the oil into foam, introducing air into the lubricant. Foamy, aerated oil cannot maintain stable oil pressure, so parts of the engine may be left without proper lubrication. If the oil level is grossly overfilled, excess oil can get forced into places it shouldn't, into the intake or cylinders, causing thick smoke and even hydrolock. Excess oil creates high crankcase pressure, straining seals and gaskets until they leak or burst. The result is often catastrophic pressure drops, oil starvation, and potential engine failure. To avoid this, always measure the oil accurately and never exceed the maximum fill line. Mistake 3. Using the wrong oil type. Do not assume any oil will do. Using the wrong oil type or viscosity after a change can quickly harm your engine. Motorcycle engines are particular about oil specifications. Oils vary in viscosity and additive packages, and a product that doesn't meet your manufacturer's specs can lead to improper lubrication and accelerated internal wear. In addition, motorcycle oils are formulated to handle higher RPM, hotter running temperatures, and often lubricate the transmission and clutch as well. Using normal car motor oil in a motorcycle with a wet clutch is a classic error. The friction modifiers in automotive oil will make the clutch slip and can cause overheating under load. The wrong oil may also break down faster and fail to protect critical engine parts under hard use. Always choose a motorcycle-specific oil of the correct grade to ensure your engine and transmission are properly protected. Mistake 4. Skipping the oil filter change. Never reuse an old oil filter when you've just put in fresh oil. The oil filter traps metal particles and sludge. If it isn't replaced, those contaminants will immediately mix with your clean oil and circulate through the engine. A clogged or saturated filter also can't regulate oil flow, so your engine might suffer from restricted lubrication. Most filters have a bypass valve that opens if the element is clogged, meaning dirty oil will flow through. Exactly what happens if you leave a saturated filter in place. This makes the new oil dirty and robs the engine of protection. For a healthy engine, always install a new quality filter at every oil change and make sure its gasket is lubricated and seated correctly. Mistake 5. Improperly. Tightening the drain plug or filter. After draining and refilling, be very careful how you tighten the oil drain plug and oil filter. Under-tightening either component can cause oil to leak once you start riding, while over-tightening can strip threads or crush gaskets. A loose drain plug or filter will slowly drip oil, and what starts as a small leak can quickly turn into a major loss of oil and a ruined engine if it goes unnoticed. If a drain plug falls out or a filter gasket blows on the road, the engine can dump its oil within minutes. Oil pressure will plummet, and critical parts like crank bearings can be destroyed immediately. Always tighten the drain bolt and filter to the manufacturer's specified torque. It's also wise to use a fresh crush washer on the drain plug each time to ensure a proper seal and no leaks. Mistake 6. Forgetting the oil filler cap. It sounds obvious, but riders sometimes get distracted and forget to reinstall the oil filler cap or dipstick after an oil change. Leaving that cap off creates a big opening on top of your engine, through which oil will splash out once you start the bike. This not only makes a mess, but also rapidly lowers the oil level inside the engine. Worse, dirt or debris can fall straight through the open filler neck into the engine. You might not notice the cap is missing until a lot of oil has pumped out during a ride. While a brief run without the cap might not cause immediate damage, if enough oil sprays out or contamination enters, your engine's life will shorten dramatically. Always double-check that the filler cap is on tight before you fire up the motorcycle. Mistake 7. Failing to check for leaks. After finishing an oil change, do not just hop on the bike and ride away without inspecting for leaks. Even if you tighten everything, it's crucial to verify that no oil is seeping from the drain plug, oil filter, or any other gasket once you start the engine. Standard procedure is to fill the engine with oil, then start it and let it idle for a few minutes while checking for any leaks around the filter and plug. Skipping this step is dangerous. A slow drip can turn into a major oil loss at speed, possibly emptying the sump and destroying the engine. Also, check under the bike while it idles, and again after the first ride, any drops on the ground beneath the drain or filter are a sure sign of a leak. A quick visual inspection right after the oil change can catch leaks before they spell disaster. Mistake 8. Revving the engine immediately. When you first start the motorcycle after an oil change, resist the urge to rev the engine right away. At initial startup, the new oil needs a few seconds to circulate and fill all the oil passages and the new filter. During those first moments, oil pressure might be slightly low, which is normal, but revving the engine under these conditions is very risky. High RPMs increase the load on engine components when oil flow hasn't fully stabilized, potentially causing metal contact and wear. Revving the engine immediately after startup puts heavy stress on bearings and cam lobes before a full oil film has formed. As one experienced rider notes about the pressure light after a change, just don't rev the engine during that time. The proper approach is to let the engine idle for a short while so the oil pump can build full pressure. Only then should you gently rev or ride, ensuring every moving part is safely coated with oil. Mistake 9. Ignoring the oil pressure warning. Finally, never ignore the oil pressure warning light or any unusual engine noises right after an oil change. If your oil pressure light stays lit more than a couple of seconds after startup, or if it flickers on during your ride, shut the engine off immediately to avoid catastrophic damage. That warning light means the engine is not receiving sufficient lubrication, and continuing to run may cause engine damage. Running an engine even briefly with little or no oil pressure can permanently score bearings or cam lobes. Common causes for a post-service oil pressure warning include a massively low oil level, a failed oil pump, or an installation issue like a loose filter. Whatever the reason, riding on with an oil pressure warning is a sure way to destroy your engine fast. Always respond to that light pullover, kill the engine, and investigate the cause before any further operation.